Hello everybody, I return and in greater numbers. I'm Loomis, and joining me now is Naralan.
Star shines on the hour of our meeting.
It's Minecraft Monday.
Let's go! He says while on a loading screen. Which is not as exciting and dramatic as well. Just cancel that and start again.
Hurry up and wait.
Yeah. Yeah. Up, 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 up.
Oh,
I'm doing the bit where you sort of fall through the world a little bit.
yeah. That kind of happens to me in real life when I wake up, to be honest.
Right, let's go. I see a dog wandering around, so I assume you're wandering around.
Yeah, I'm just outside the keep.
Ah, nice. That jobless villager's just stood on me.
Hmm.
And now another villager stood on me. Come on, man. They're tagging to my bed, I think. But... Oh, I just heard somebody get hurt.
Oh no.
An Enderman, I think. That sounded
no.
it.
To kill our tourism industry if an Enderman dies here. We'll never recover from this economically.
I can't see any Enderman though. Probably fine.
Yeah.
Oh, what do I need? Mucho stone. I don't think I need any more concrete. I think I've done all that. Get a job, you hippie. Fine, yeah, I got to do a little bit of that back. Yeah, that's fine. This, I'm trying to.
Right.
Oh yeah, that'll work. Please stop pushing me. Yeah, that's good. Oh, that's a bigger drop.
You catch a train back to East Market.
So, asterisks.
Really good. Had a nice chill day.
That's good.
A few days off from work.
Ah, nice.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good.
Cannot complain. After all, who's listening? I'll say that.
Yeah.
Right, well, I'm here. What else do I need? Logs. Ah, yes, of course. I can just hear him banging around upstairs. The villagers.
Yeah.
Any more of those?
Industry at work.
Exactly. Wait. There's a load of logs in the planks chest. Outrageous.
What?
This is an outrage. So right to the MP.
Yeah. Who authorized this?
What else do I need? I got those yes. I'll take those. I'll take those. I don't know why I just did that. I'll take that too. Oh yeah, I know what else I need. Dang it, I said I know what else I need. though.
I don't think you do. I'm gonna come over there and tell you how it should be done.
Come on, man, this isn't Dark Souls.
First of all, you want a glowstone block floating one space above what you're working on.
Sure. Have we got no netherrack? Why don't troll that? I feel like at one time we were swarmed with it.
Yeah, check under soil? Or maybe it's still over at the, I definitely took some over to the labs for the dark house and the greenhouse.
I only need one.
Yeah, was there any mix in with dirt, or was there none at all?
I didn't see any, no, at least not in that particular sile chest, but
there's a chest next to the gate, which is where I had a lot of my building materials, so there might be some there. Or there might be some... Might be some out at the dark house.
Let's take a look, see. Nobody killing me as soon as I've arrived. That's not... yeah, I'll just take one.
Yeah. So...
Like I didn't know what I was going to encounter. I just suspect it's the reason why there's a gate around the door.
Yes. But I think it's bright enough in there that we shouldn't have any more of those troubles.
Yeah, should be fine now. I would think. In your streaming career thus far, which is like 3 and a bit years, isn't it?
Yeah.
What game has had the worst backseating?
Dark Souls.
Yeah?
Yeah. The original one.
Yeah. I missed a thing that I was going to bring. Oh well. Here's what it is.
It's one that I played early on, so I don't know whether I brought it on myself by not being firm enough with people and such. But yeah, that was definitely the one where I've encountered the most of that.
Interesting.
People getting angry about my weapon choices and
being like, no, you're wrong.
Yeah. Insisting that I play certain ways, telling me that I wouldn't be able to beat the game without their help. Stuff like that.
Damn it. Ways to carry on. I'm sure they'll agree. Any more stairs?
That long? No, I think it's only been about 2 weeks, Lady Meow. I'm pretty sure Noellen's exaggerating for humorous effect, right?
Alas, no. It has indeed been that long. It was July 2018.
Oh.
I mean, I guess I'm slightly exaggerating. Yeah, well, maybe it is a bit. Maybe you would class that as a bit. Who can say? Didn't put it there. No, wait, no, I didn't. I put it on the outside edge. I don't know that you did that just after I did.
The old days. I play Market Night Adventures on a Tuesday and then Pokemon on a Wednesday.
Yeah, that's true. Made it all go wrong, yeah.
Yeah. I think, again, my answer is going to be Dark Souls.
Understandable. I've Apollo said she found Hollow Knight, I think, to be the worst.
I've heard that from a lot of people, but I didn't experience that myself.
Oh, that's good. They obviously mispronounced it there for humorous effect. I'm well aware that it's pronounced hello knicht. Yeah, unless you thought otherwise. Alright.
Yeah, I got a few in Hollow Knight, but on the whole, it wasn't as bad as I'd been led to expect it would be.
That's good. Wait a minute, something's awry. I can tell. I'm not sure what's awry or why, but I can tell that it is. I think I've made a miscalculation somewhere.
Do you sense an ill wind on the horizon?
I do. Like there's an error afoot, and I'm not sure what the error is. Oh wait, no, okay. I was right! Ah well, I'm kinda committed now. Yeah, because once you start something, you can never stop it.
Yeah.
You must just continue clattering onwards.
That's true. Giving up is unacceptable.
But that'd mean admitting that you're ever wrong to begin with. Which is surely
Indeed,
a mistake.
one must just double down harder.
Exactly.
Neuralon says ZZZ.
No mistakes. What's your opinion? Potentially controversial topic. I mean, not in general, like not just like give me an opinion. I was about to phrase it. I was about to narrow it down somewhat. What's your opinion on Alexander Solzhenitsyn? They blocked him.
I need more information on that matter.
The author, Alexander Solzhenitsyn, who wrote a bunch of stuff.
A bunch of stuff, huh?
That's his biggest hit. Now, his most famous novel, well, short story, kind of novel, let's call it novel, is A Day in the Life of Ivan Denisovich.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know.
Not read that one.
Have you never read that one? What about We Never Make Mistakes?
I mean, that's the title of my autobiography, but other than that...
Or that other one that he's famous for. Like it's about a station or something. You know that one.
So, what do you think about Kazuo Ishiguro?
I think he's great.
Yeah, never let me go. Great novel, right?
I haven't read that one actually, but I've read Remains of the Day, which I really enjoyed. We had to read it at school, so my memories may be shaky because we had to in about 2005. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a fascinating look at the. I mean, are you familiar with Remains of the Day?
I am not.
It's a novel by Kazuo Ishiguro.
I suspected some context, but it's good to have it confirmed.
It's about a butler at a posh English country house that was once owned by Lord Darlington. I don't think I need to say any more about that. No, and it's basically set in the, I want to say the 50s, where the butler, he now works for an American businessman who bought the house after Lord Darlington, was forced to sell, or died or whatever. That were a good description, would it? was forced to sell or died or whatever. Again, it was a distressingly long time ago that I read it. But yeah, anyway, now it's an American businessman, and of course that is a thing that happened in the UK. Like a lot of country houses end up being bought by business people.
Yeah.
Because if you don't do anything to replace your hoarded wealth,
Yeah.
it's not going to replace itself. At one time, land was all the money you needed. But
Yeah.
things change, and so they got bought by business people. And in fact, they were big. They were quite big in the early 20th century. Of essentially wealthy Americans wanting their family to have some kind of status, and so marrying impoverished British aristocrats. That was a thing for a while. Or relative. I mean, I say impoverished.
Yeah.
Relatively speaking.
Only 3 estates.
Yeah. Exactly. So that's the basic gist, and he's like been given a holiday by his employer,
Yeah.
which he's not entirely sure about. But you can't really obviously the American businessman's like not a proper employer, because he's not he's not Lord Darlington.
Yeah.
But he's not bad for dare I say it, a businessman. Which is generally pretty much how the butler thinks about him.
Yeah.
And so he decides to take a road trip, as it were, to see if he can meet somebody, the former housekeeper. And as he goes on his road trip, he thinks back to the 20s and 30s, when the house was kind of at its height. When he worked for Lord Darlington, and he kind of reflects on his life in a weird, not entirely self-aware way. And it's very good. Because the reader can see the stuff that he doesn't.
Yeah.
Like there's stuff about himself that he clearly doesn't realise or is kind of locked away a little bit. And he's oblivious, but he's obvious to you, which is really clever.
Yeah.
And although he won't hear, a word against Lord Darlington, you get a hint of why other people don't necessarily think so much of him. And spoilers, when I said it was like the 20s and 30s?
Yeah.
There was a certain political movement that was popular in certain parts of the world at that time. It was quite popular with the British upper classes. And it wasn't communism.
Yeah.
And he had and he's kind of explores a bit about that, to what extent he was involved with it relative to the way people regarded him for it afterwards, etc. And it kind of, like you were saying about in the Discord, about how the book kind of never let me go, raises certain kind of issues, and never necessarily addresses them, but rather kind of deals with how the characters deal with that sort of issue.
Yeah.
And he does the same in Remains of the Day. That it's obviously about fascism, and it gets discussed, like the merits of fascism and democracy. But obviously the butler doesn't really care about that stuff. It's not his place, you see. Which is genuinely how he thinks of it. Like it's not his place to, it's for lords to consider such things. Not a servant like him. But yeah, so it kind of presents it without comment almost. Yeah, I would recommend. And it's more than just that. That's just the example that came to mind. It's about his personal relationships with other staff and people, and what he does or doesn't admit to himself.
In time, you will know the tragic extent of my failings.
Resist lemon? I'm gonna decide it's pronounced like that. Resist lemon. Thank you so much for the follow. I hope you're having a great day. I need to buy more glass.
I'd also need a lot of glass, or I'm soon
Yeah.
about to. Oh no.
Oh?
That's right, I need some more resources.
I was interested in why you were asking about obscure foreign authors, but she's about to go for dinner.
Ah!
So, I mean, for her sake, you might have to explain it quickly. Obviously, I understood where you were going.
I was just gonna ask your opinion about the author, because he's considered important in some fields and controversial by others.
Yeah, I'm not really familiar with this work, I'm afraid.
We'll talk more. But yeah, Lady Meow's spot on. How his devotion to his master led his life to pass him by. And how much he realizes that consciously. And how that kind of plays on his mind. That he's kind of, and it's about that, like, developing that kind of unwavering devotion to somebody sort of as a job.
Yeah.
And how, you know, what do you actually do with your life if you're just devoting yourself to serve somebody else? It's very interesting.
Yeah.
No, the golem just bolts in the construction site. No doubt checking out that it meets all the appropriate safety requirements.
I would think so. Yeah, I can already hear the similarities with Never Let Me Go.
Ah, yeah.
I think Ishiguro might have a bit of a theme to himself.
I believe.
Yeah, thanks for the work again, Lady Meow. Hope you enjoy your dinner.
That's it, golem. On you go.
I shall look that one up in time.
In time. You'll know the tragic extent of my feelings. You remember I think, did Badger post it in the Discord once? The video where it's it's like parodying the frog and the scorpion kind of fable.
Neuralon says ZZZ.
You know the one about the frog swimming across the river and the scorpion's like, hey, give me a lift. And the frog's
Yeah.
like, no, you'll sting me. The scorpion's like, why would I do that? We'd both drown. And then the frog's like, aight. And then they go swimming and the scorpion stings him. And he's like, why? He's like, because it's my nature.
Yeah.
And I think Badger posted a video of that where the fella's like reading it. Because the spoof is, but now we shall both surely drown, said the frog. Lol, said the scorpion. Lamau. Which is brilliant, just like off its face like that. The version, that thing Badger posted in Discord, I can't remember. But the version where somebody's reading it, people in comments were saying, ruin has come to our family, says the frog. Because the way the guy voices it, he kind of sounds like the ancestor. I just fell out a window. People were saying things like, he fled wailing and laughing. Lol, said the ancestor. Now we will both unleash horrors upon the world. Loads of spoofs like that about what the frog or the scorpion might say. Yeah, that does really crap me up. That lol, lamau.
Yeah.
I need to go one further. It's gonna be a pokey all this, but it doesn't need to be much bigger. Okay, there, thank you. No, maybe Maybe I don't. No, I could do the no. I don't think I will. Also, ever since I played New Vegas, there's a character who you can seek medical help from, and the dialogue options are a little bit clunky in places, by the way. Like not the story level ones, but like the just the having a conversation with somebody kind of dialogue options can be a little bit clunky.
Yeah.
I know you shouldn't say that sort of thing, but it's true. I'm pretending it's not. That was. Like just how you have a conversation with somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is okay. What is it?
Yeah,
But anyway,
you have a conversation with somebody and it's incredibly awkward. Yeah, that's the realistic experience.
that is true. Yeah, but like just how you go through your dialogue trees and whatever, it can be a bit like if you want to ask somebody something else, you have to like say, let's talk about something else.
Yeah.
And then they say their spiel, and then you get back to the dialogue options. So, but anyway, there's a character you meet. You can ask for health services, and when you go for that option, I'd like to engage your services, which is like the third thing you have to go through to get it. BG dubs.
Yeah.
The character answers, and rightly so, I should think, because obviously it's New Vegas, so they're a bit yawly. Which is great. I love that. But I find whenever somebody says something that I sort of think is a good idea, I have this real urge to say, and rightly so, I should think. It's partly just the sort of slightly tired way he says it. Like, yeah, of course. Rightly so, I should think. It's just fun to say. That's how the game gets you. Before you know it, you're arguing why the Legion was right to enslave all those women.
Yeah.
I wish there were people who do.
The Legion enslaved all those people. And rightly so, I should think.
Exactly, you've got it. I did see somebody who's like, one of these New Vegas YouTubers. That's their thing. Even they were posting something that I saw earlier about trying to reason with Legion fans and how that's pointless.
Yeah.
Lamau. Oops. Huge mistake. I'm gonna go down one, I think. I'm just waiting to see what this sets on fire, to be honest. What?
I mean, you're in your own building now. It's none of my business what you burn down.
Like, you shouldn't burn anything down in here.
Ah.
My concern is, fire has a tendency to spread in ways you don't expect. Might it do that here is the question.
You're building it like next to the flats, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not a million miles away from the high hay either. That's it.
Yeah. Well,
Anyway, I'm sure it's probably fine.
I mean, if the high hay did go up, there'd be a brief period where Chasmby was intensely defendable. So, short-term goals.
That's true. And nothing seems to be on fire right now. I mean, you didn't use much wood in the construction of the flats, right?
I suppose not.
Not for anything vital.
The balcony out front. The stairs.
That's true. And it is a timber-framed building, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ouch, it's probably fine. I'm sure there's nothing to worry about.
Timber floors too, so if the flames spread to the floors, it would probably You know, if it actually got inside, it would gut the whole thing.
Kind of like what happened with the factory.
Yeah, pretty much exactly like that.
Ha! Yeah,
Hmm.
it did just in a... Yeah, history rhymes more often than it repeats.
Yeah.
Again, I'm sure it's probably fine. If I fall in there, I'm gonna die. Especially think I probably should try not to fall in. Like, 'cause there's gonna be fall damage, then I'm gonna get set on fire. It's just one of those, like, spectacular, oh no, it's gone really wrong kind of things. That is a spectacular going wrong, if I say. So if we go just like, oops. Yeah, feel free in future to punctuate your sentences with, and rightly so, I should think. It's a lot of fun.
Will do.
Especially if you can do that slightly tired sounding voice.
Yeah.
Did put that too high up, but oh well. That's fine. Alright. The character from the DLC, which I said, really so or something. One of the DLCs, the Old World Blues DLC, which I like,
Yeah.
and I think anybody who's got any sense likes it too. So it's good. It's the one that has the horrendous like opening section
Yeah.
that goes on for like 1,000,000 years. It's the annoying dialogue throughout.
Yeah.
Like, shut up! Clearly this is meant to be funny and you clearly failed.
Yeah.
That's a good looking building. Now how many doors do I need? I think it's 3. I think I pick up falling down the stairs. Yeah, 3 doors will do it.
For a moment there, I thought you was going to follow up with, yeah, I'm falling down the stairs.
That's the thing that's happened. I can see an armoured figure in town, but you're still in East Market. I'll engage them at once.
Novice farmer here.
Oh, you got a job!
Oh, yeah.
All that hurling abuse.
Yeah, it really
Stealing
paid
the
off.
from us. Techniques work.
Mm.
If you got any fish in your pocket, there's a cat running amok.
Yeah. The players need to be, you know, motivated to work harder.
Exactly. What better motivation is there than might die? Wait. I'm just gonna steal these pine
Yeah, kitty.
stairs.
Yeah, kitty, kitty, kitty. I'm gonna eat some apples so I don't accidentally eat raw fish while I'm trying to feed my cat.
Hey, sushi, I suppose.
Yeah. Kitty.
Neuralon says ZZZ.
I was unintentionally angry, look at that. Yeah, so what I was going to say earlier, I asked you what your opinion was on Alexander Solzhenitsyn. He's the author of, as I say, A Day in the Life of Ivan Denisovich.
Kitty
Which is-
beautiful. Illegally
Ah.
cute.
It's an account, it's like a fictionalized account of A Day in the Life of Ivan Denisovich. A man in the Soviet gulags in the 30s? I can't remember now. And he's actually good. It's an interesting. Stop raining. I like it. Some people on the left don't like it because they're like it's imperialist propaganda to discredit the Soviet Union. But I mean, they did exist, and he doesn't give them a terrible write-up actually.
Yeah.
Like it's a forced labor camp. Nobody's pretending that that's fun. But the way he kind of describes how the people in it are actually really motivated to do work, which is an interesting thing to put in actually. That they are quite willing to put the time in, shall we say. I've made a huge error. I mean, it's not huge, it's a minor error, but still. I've just completely missed doing something that I should have done. And then cement. Yeah, so the fact that they have this kind of motivation to do the stuff they're set to, rather than it simply being forced.
Yeah.
So I think the problem people, well, the real problem people have with, and he's done other, I should say, before I go into why I think people really don't like him. We Never Make Mistakes, for example, is about the NKVD. You got a new cat with like yellow eyes.
Yeah.
Interesting. How much do I need? I don't know. And how much I'm trying to create. How much will that take? I think I've got to do twice as much as I would have liked. Well. It is what it is, as they say.
Yeah.
But yeah, the problem I think people really have with Solzhenitsyn is he's an imperialist in the yay Russian Empire sense.
Right.
Like, not an imperialist in the colonialist sense, in the things were better in the Russian Empire and those darn communists ruined everything. Which, I understand why people don't like that. If only we'd trusted the Tsar, everything would have been fine. That kind of deal.
Yeah.
The Tsar cared about us, why did we have to mess it up? And unfortunately he did also buy into, or was, once he'd heard of them, certain anti-Semitic conspiracy theories that I believe originated from the fact that a number of members of the provisional government were Jewish.
Yeah.
So it became about how the idea that replacing the Tsar had been some kind of Jewish plot.
Yeah.
They also say the same thing about Freemasonry, by the way, but obviously less harmful than when you're talking about Jews.
Yeah.
A disproportionate number of the members of the provisional government were Freemasons too. Which is true, but yeah, not the same level of problem.
Yeah.
When you're attributing it to Jews. So because of those two things, a lot of people are like, so therefore we should ignore everything he says because, he's a scumbag who's motivated by bad things. Which I understand, but at the same time, does it mean we should disregard everything he says?
Yeah.
That's what I was going to ask you about this. Because he himself was sent to the Gulag. So his account of the Gulag really is his own kind of account, I suppose.
Yeah.
That's going to totally set on fire, isn't it?
First-hand sources.
Yeah. I'm sure it's going to catch fire. That's way too close, but I don't know if you can hit it a different way. Let me get this up. Got it. Now let's try and make sure that the building doesn't burn down in the meantime. Sorry, what? Ow! Nah, it's probably fine. These things tend to sort themselves out anyway, don't they?
Yeah.
Nice. Let's see if this will truly work. Not overly, unless. Yes. Ah, not quite. Yeah, obviously Solzhenitsyn, for reasons that might be obvious, was very critical of the Soviet system.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey. Not as much as on fire as I expected.
Me neither. Ominous. I like the as you realise what I was on about.
I mean, that is pretty much the exact mechanism by which the factory was burned down.
True. And yet, dare I say, everything's now fine.
Well, I mean, if you discount the emotional damage.
That's true.
Yeah, the trauma.
Ah, done it wrong. Done it wrong!
You fool, you've done it wrong.
Yeah, look. So yeah, well, I can't recommend the author. I'd recommend the books, I guess, as an interested look into those things by someone what was there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I ain't had a lot of all this stuff. Just after so we'll finish.
Oh.
Ah, did it wrong again. Did it wrong again, Loomis. Damn it. Get it together.
Fool. These mistakes are unacceptable.
Did you
Time
know
is
that-
money.
That's true. Did you know that Joseph Stalin never said a quantity has a quality of its own?
Seems like
did?
he probably said the same thing, but in Russian.
It's like the did you know that famous person never said thank you once in their entire life. And it's because they were... Ah, Mr. Dog. Dang nabbit! I was like, I've got exactly the right number of doors. I don't know. I need one more, which is... Hello.
Where did... Dang it.
Who you lost?
The cartographer.
Ah. Do you need glass? Because I need an enormous amount of glass.
Yeah, I've been buying up some glass.
And also, shelves. I need bookshelves as well.
You want the scholar then?
Nurulon says ZZZ.
Need to grab some emeralds. Buy the bookshelves. Very soon, the place will be ready for its unveiling. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to do. The feather just climbed in through the pig in window. Hello. Do you mind, sir?
Can I help you with something?
They're just like, morning! Is that rightly so, I should think. Lighting, I suppose, would be another issue. What if I did it thus?
I mean, with all the fires that you're starting, the lighting
Only
will take care
started
of itself.
some fires. And when you think about the amount of fires I could be starting relative to the amount that I am, I think you'd agree that I'm being very reasonable, really.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to do something about these people just climbing into the pig in window. I need one more of those. I need 7 of those. Then bookshelves. By the dozen. Nay, by the score. There's a cat marauding round. Good thing I've got the all axe.
No.
That's it. It's a wild cat. So still no, but less strongly perhaps. I thought it'd be yours, so I was threatening to take an axe to it, but it was not so. That's a wait what moment. People in the audience.
Yeah. Oh. Ah.
Hello.
Hello.
I didn't hear you come in. Which is also like an opening to every episode of Midsummer Murders. Oh, what are you doing here? Oh, I wasn't expecting you. Person is murdered.
Yeah. Oh, I wasn't expecting you to be here at this time with a knife.
It being Midsummer Murders, assumedly they'll get killed in some bizarre fashion as well.
Yeah.
They were hit with the church door, or whatever.
They were walking through the door and somebody slammed it shut on them with lethal force, or they were just sitting in a lawn chair and somebody walked up with the church door ripped out of its hinges and just smacked them over the head.
I mean, either are possible in Midsummer Murders.
Yeah.
And like, equally possible as well.
I'm not sure which is more bizarre, to be
thank
honest.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not either. Which of those is the weirder two? Building objects, wouldn't it? That's what it'd be.
What's that?
Oh, we've already got a load of cement. I didn't realize. Oops.
Oh.
I mean, not a load, like a handful. Oh, we got some glass in here too. Sweet.
Oh, do we?
Yeah. I mean, not anymore.
I mean, I'd have swiped that if I'd realised. I must have been looking in the wrong chest.
It's in building objects. What it was. There's also some whatchamacallit, some tinted glass as well, some stained glass if you have a mind to use it. Ah, if it didn't get the thing. 7 times 3 is 21, isn't it?
Yes.
Thank you. Do we now have any white wool?
I feel like I may have used it en masse for something, but I don't remember what. So I'm gonna say maybe no. Plenty of
We'll
sheep
go on
though.
a quest. True. You get like 1 or 2 wool for each one you kill, right? Back it up.
I wouldn't know.
I'm not getting much wool off this small sheep that keeps making a clucking noise. What's the point of having this giant sheep farm if these small clucking sheep don't give much wool?
It's probably a baby.
Ah, that's true. It is small.
Yeah.
Also, just I know it's maybe not a spoiler, but just a word of warning if you ever do read A Day in the Life of Ivan Denisovich. He's like the main character. You won't necessarily realize that because nobody ever calls him Ivan Denisovich.
Yeah.
Because of Russian naming conventions. That if you don't know, you don't know. So you spend like 2/3 of the book wondering when this Ivan Denisovich is going to turn up. It turns out he's been there the whole time.
Yeah.
Just they're not close enough to refer to him as Ivan Denisovich. So the other prisoners all call him Shukov, which is his surname. And like, sure, now I know that makes perfect sense, but I didn't know, so I was waiting for him to turn up.
Yeah.
You know, if me and you were pals in Russia. Delete that delay. We wouldn't call each other just by our first names.
You have to use a diminutive, right?
That's it, yeah. And if we were less close than we are, you'd also use the middle name as well.
Yeah.
So you'd be like, if your middle name was like John Joseph Smith, you wouldn't just call him John, you'd call him like John Joseph.
Yeah.
Which is what the Ivan Denisovich is. It's his first name and his middle name.
Okay.
But unless you were pals, you wouldn't refer to him even by that. Ah, damn it! I've put the glass wrong. You would. Ah, I forgot the thing. You're forgetting bits that I'm gonna need. You'd refer to each other by your surname. That's quite common in Russian culture. Like, there's like different tiers of closeness. Like just surname and like first name and middle name, diminutive. Ah, I've done it again.
I know in Japan you have to be very close before you use your personal name. Otherwise it's all surnames.
Of course, Russian is also one of those languages perhaps like Japanese, but you have different forms of address depending on how close you are to somebody.
Yeah.
And if you get it wrong,
Mm.
that's why I'm not allowed back in. But no, I just got frowned
Yeah.
at.
Yeah, there's a bit in War and Peace where a a pair of teenagers are stressing over the fact that their lives will be decided by how they next address each other.
I believe it.
Yeah, because they were very close childhood friends and were used to using the most, affectionate forms of addressing each other. But like he's. Hmm?
Just made a huge error. I wasted a loaded glass. Wall.
Ah.
Sorry, Karen.
You're supposed to do this prep coriander now? Burn it!
Yep.
Heckin' coriander. Awful stuff.
You're reading Russian literature, ready to translate Wolfhound yet? Alas, no. I've really slacked on learning Russian because I got mad at, whatchamacallit, the bird one. Duolingo. I got frustrated because it's awkward to learn Russian using Duolingo. That's not to say I won't, but just you know what I'm like. I got ratty. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so this young couple that were childhood best friends and have always referred to each other with the closest terms of affection. Then he's been away for like a couple of years doing his military training, and he's now coming home. And they're passing messages between their friends to each other, trying to figure out how they're going to address each other. Because if they continue to address each other the same way that they always have, with the highest levels of affection, that's practically a marriage proposal. But if they refer to each other in the ways that normal acquaintances would, after years of addressing each other with the forms of highest affection, then there's clearly never going to be a marriage in that case, and their families will move on to other things. And it's like, they haven't seen each other for years, and they don't know how they feel about each other, and they've got to figure it out before they meet, because the moment they meet, the way they say hello will decide it.
It's ludicrous, and I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all that happened to me is I greeted someone by saying the equivalent of hi, not hello.
Mm.
And online style guides have told me that between young people, it's acceptable to say hi instead of hello, but I got a cold look and then hello. I was like, well, that showed me.
I see, you mistook yourself for a young person.
It functionally, yeah. Although it turns out she's older than me, so I didn't know that, but maybe that was a factor.
Yeah.
She looks younger than me, but here we are. I said Privyet instead of Zdravstvuyte. It may be obvious why I chose Privyet.
Yeah.
I did not know how to pronounce Zdravstvuyte. Like I do now because she said it very deliberately.
Yeah.
And thus I was like, oh yeah, it's Zdravstvuyte. Which I hadn't been able to fathom before. I was like, how the heck do you pronounce that? There's a lot of Z's and D's next to each other.
Yeah, it may have also been a regional thing.
Yeah, I think
speculate before.
Yeah, because she's from Belarus.
Yeah.
Maybe that's which is I think is more conservative, shall we say, than perhaps urban Russia.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what people in rural Russia live like, but I know that people in rural Belarus still do the whole, like, whatever job you do, you also grow some food in your back garden.
Yeah.
And for fertilizer, you know, that's what toilets are for.
Yeah.
Try that for now. I've just burned through like an enormous amount of emeralds doing that, by the way. I'm sorry. It doesn't even
It's
serve a
okay.
purpose in here. It's just decoration functionally.
It's the most important purpose.
True. I think you'll agree with it once you know what it's for.
Let's see.
There. So, what Leeds doing? I mean, I need to finish the front of the building, but I've not quite decided how I'm going to do that yet. And then I need to do the internal lighting. But here's what I'm thinking. That can wait a moment. How about this? I have a 5-minute break. Also. And when I get back, if you're still in Casby, I'll show you the building and see if you figure out what it is. Before I say, if you've not already figured it out.
Sounds good to me.
Sweet. Then return I shall.
I will
Is
take
it-
a short break as well.
Oh, cool.
I'm just
Oh, fair enough.
quickly figuring out. Okay. I calculate my windows. Oh! I leaned in for a closer look at the windows and had
Hello?
a tumble. Yeah.
Good. In there. Alright. I
Alright,
shall
back in a
return
moment.
momentarily.
We return.
But this time not in greater numbers, but in the same numbers.
Yes. But this time we do return in single file to hide our true numbers.
True. Also, night lady meow if you've not gone yet.
Yeah, good night, Lady Meow. Sleep well.
Ow.
Ow. Did you also take damage when you spawned in?
Yes.
Hmm.
Like it disappeared, but I did take the hit.
Yeah.
Well, then let me get to a suitable place. Dead, dead, dead.
Illumus of Fail says ZZZ.
I love that. I still love the fact that on mine it says quoth.
Yeah.
Quoth lives to fail. Where art thou? That's not Harrison. Just so I know such that I can decide what I do next.
I'm currently in East Market, but I can easily get the next train over.
So when you get a minute, if you don't mind coming over so I can show you the finished construction. More or less. It's not entirely finished, but it's like close, you know? It's near as doing it. When you got a minute though. Just no spoiling.
Next train over, got it.
Return obviously you do your Monday post in the Discord. Asking us, what the hap is.
Yeah.
And such. And I mentioned that I've been assembling models and watching films over the weekend. Which I have been. It's very fun. I watched 2 films. Which is enough for 3 days in bed.
Yeah.
What did I come here to get? Yes, that's it.
I don't really know how many films a film person would watch.
I don't know how much of a film person I am, but I guess relatively speaking.
I watch one film roughly every 6 to 8 months.
Then yes, I'm a real film buff. Actually. Yeah, like 2 over 3 days is new. Like if you wanted to, you could watch a lot more. And I have sometimes.
Yeah.
I watched Kingsman, The Secret Service, and Warhorse, or as I can humorously pronounce it in our local dialect, Waros, which sounds nothing like Warhorse. Waros. And I enjoyed them both. They were both good.
I've had Kingsman heavily recommended to me before, but I never got around to watching it, partly because the recommendation came in the form of an American saying to me, "How have you not seen Kingsman? It's about Britain."
Oh yeah, sure, yeah, that'd be reason enough never to watch it.
Yeah. And also that... I don't know, the trailer just made it look like work. It's one of those films where you've got to get through the whole sequence of the main character being generally disbelieving about the importance of the whatever it is they do, and living up to their father's legacy, and realizing that the old guy is actually super powerful, etc., etc., before you actually get to the good stuff.
It's actually not like that.
Okay.
I don't. The trailers can be misleading, can't they? But
Yeah.
like he doesn't really know or care about his old man's legacy.
Okay.
I assume you mean the young rough lad.
Yeah.
Shall we
It was
say.
a while ago that this happened. I just vaguely remember some people giving the young lad trouble, and the old guy shows up and he's like, "Stop giving the young lad trouble," and the young lad's like, "You're making it worse," and then the old guy kills all the people.
He doesn't actually kill him, but yeah, basically.
Yeah.
But that's like the first time. Well, I think it's the second time they've ever met. So at least it's not like the.
Okay.
You doubt my power? It's literally just like he has a chat with the lad, and those fellas interrupt. And then they annoy him sufficiently that he does that. Like he's like about to leave, and then they
Yeah.
annoy him, and he's like, "Well,
I got the impression that the old guy had spent his whole life telling the kid that he needed to stop being a layabout and become like the great man your father was." And the kid was like, "I'm specifically not going to become the great man my father was because people like you keep telling me to become the great man my father was."
fortunately not, but I can see why it would come across that way."
Yeah.
It's
It
more
seems-
just, I knew your father, he was a great guy, how come you're a scumbag?
Ah.
And he's like, well, if I had the opportunities that you guys had, I'm sure I wouldn't be a scumbag. You're tough. And he's like, fair enough, yeah.
Hmm.
You make a good point. Like, you still have to take personal responsibility for yourself, but you're right. So I'm going to show you around, and I want you
Okay.
to stop me when you realise what the building is.
Alright.
And I'm taking you to inconsequential places first. Feel free to narrate your thoughts.
So this is, clearly a lobby area. We've got a similar reception desk to the one that I've just built over at the at East Smiths and Traders.
Nice. Great minds think alike.
Yeah.
Or fools
We've
seldom
got some
differ.
writing tables. Okay. We have a waiting area. Okay, a room with a fireplace. Little grill in front of it. A modest library. I don't know, I had a lot of things that I was expecting this to be, and I'm not sure I,
This room actually tells you nothing except for what's through that hatch. There's nothing else in here. The dog. How did a dog get in here? But anyway.
Must have been through the window, I don't know. Okay, so we got a bed and a table.
The other room's the same, just with the layout reversed. So.
So this is your house then? Oh, there's a cat in here.
Hey, guts! There's a cat upstairs and all. I'd say the building currently has no front, because I've not yet decided the pattern for the windows. But
This is getting out of hand. Another bookcase and more writing. Is this... I wonder if this is a school.
the next room, I suspect, might give it away. The cat just piles on a bed.
Oh, is this a hospital?
Yes,
Ah.
it is. Welcome to the Casumby Community Infirmary.
Ah, nice. I like it.
Thank you. So to go back through what you've seen, and I'll tell you what it is. The ward, obviously.
Yeah.
Doctor's office.
Makes sense.
Yeah, a place for him to do the writing and also a place to keep records or medical texts.
Yeah.
Secretary's office. They can do the paperwork, write up letters and such. Obviously, like you say, main reception. 2 consulting rooms for the. This is the outpatient suite. This is kind of estates. And also the the incinerator.
Yeah.
Because hospitals have them. You need them too.
Yeah.
The kitchen.
Ah.
So very food and patients.
Put a cookery table in there and we get a chef show up.
Oh, nice. Patient records.
Ah. Nice.
And obviously this is the waiting room. So yeah, there you go. Casumby Community Infirmary. Just needs lighting properly, maybe some signage.
Yeah.
And just deciding what I'm going to do with that front window. So there's not a big hole in the front of the building.
Very nice.
Thank you. I know we've talked about having one before, and we say, well, what would you put in it? How would you do it?
Yeah.
When we didn't stream for a couple of weeks, I mused on it. This is what I came up with.
Of course, you realise that all sorts of homeless layabouts who rightfully can't afford a home of their own are going to feign illness in order to sleep within here.
That's true. I did consider that a possibility.
Really, it would be better to avoid such issues by not providing medical care for the poor.
Well, true. But it's done now, I suppose. This is the project's been working on for a while.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Well, obviously there's still this to do. And then I was thinking lanterns hung from the ceiling for the lighting.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'll need a lot, obviously.
Yeah.
Scatter them thither and yon. Because I am aware that I've just slapped 7 extra beds in the middle of Casumby.
Yeah.
There's another cat out there. We're swarmed with him at the minute.
Another one, huh?
Yeah.
Neuralon says ZZZ.
Why have they never provided this at the hospital? They're like, do you want to come and have a free meal so you can taste what patient food is like? No, they've never done a thing where it's like, do you want to come and take a nap so you can see what the beds are like?
Could you imagine it?
Yeah, hospital beds are famously uncomfortable, but we're working to change that. Come and try them out.
Oh, that'd be good. That's why I've been using all this cement, so you can have like a white interior
Yeah.
instead of the normal stonework that I use for everything else. Because you've still got that showing in places, and if you notice the non-patient facing bits have a load of like bare walls.
Yeah.
Like obviously you can see the bits there where the windows would be, and in
Yeah.
the stairwell that the walls are. But like yeah, like patient records and that, it's all just that
Yeah.
kind of wall. Like even the secretary's office.
If I might make a small suggestion.
Yes, blow it up and start again.
If you could dismantle this whole thing and rebuild it around the start point at Vault Zero, so that when we die, we respawn in the hospital.
That's a good idea. What?
What?
There you go. I think this was for you.
Oh, cool. A bit of string.
Yeah. I assume a cat brought it.
Makes sense.
Perhaps out hunting spiders.
Yeah.
Ah, there we go. I'm going to put a sign on over the door that says Casimir Community Infirmary. I was wondering if I should put signs on above the doors of the different rooms so you know what they are. The one knows what they are. And then obviously I've got to light it and sort out that gaping hole in the front. Just leave it.
It looks
Oh,
so
your hospital's
ominous.
open to the air. Yeah. Gotta get that fresh air in.
Yeah. Yeah, the fresh air in, yeah, makes sense. But that what the library is at the moment. Every door and window has to be fully open to maximize airflow.
When my mum were nursing back in the 70s,
Hmm.
she had they had rotation in also. You know, do you remember when we used to have like local hospitals everywhere?
Yeah.
They'd be super useful right now, wouldn't they? Because you could get the older people who aren't ready for social care, but need that extra, still need that bit of medical care before they discharge to social care. That'd be a perfect place to send them, wouldn't it? So they're not,
Yeah. That'd
just
be
kind of
real
waiting
good.
around for perhaps a couple of weeks on an acute hospital ward.
Yeah. Yeah, those would be good
Shame
things to have.
Yeah, shame we like shut them all over the
Yeah.
last few years. I mean, not all of them, but a lot.
Yeah.
And we've lost about like 8 local hospital wards in our area.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, including knocking an entire hospital down.
Mm.
But one of those local hospitals was formerly, or had been at one time, the TB hospital.
Ah.
And so, like the older bit, there's just animals everywhere, man. So the older bit, my mum says, like, because it's like a T shape, like capital T shape, and the upright of the T, as it were, was the newer bit, and the crossbar was the old TB ward. And she said it was huge, and like instead of having the patients on, because obviously in older hospitals the wards are laid out like the one I've just built. The beds are just kind of there in the line in the ward.
Yeah.
So in that one, it was divided into like 1-bed bays. So like it was almost like so it was open on one side, window at the back, and then a partition between that and the next bed.
Yeah.
To separate the patients out. But also there were enormous windows behind every bed, and enormous windows at each end of the ward. And the idea was they were kept open, and you got like hella airflow through all the ward. Because TB.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose partly it's to disperse the TB, right? Because people didn't necessarily understand super well, but and also if people are struggling to breathe, having a lot of airflow is good.
Yeah.
And they would be because TB, and also it was built long before you could just have oxygen, as you would now.
Yeah, makes sense.
But yeah, it says it was like proper old-fashioned 19th century TB ward.
Yeah.
Cold, Joy said.
Yeah. I'm imagining the libraries are going to get pretty cold in winter if we have to keep everything open.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would imagine so.
Hey, Alex, how you doing?
Hey,
You having a good day?
so let's finish the thing. Signage, a table in the kitchen, and this frontage. I bet we'll if I was to put that there. Oh, I know what I'll do. It might not work, but I'll do it. I'll do it.
Okay. I think I need to stock up on anything else while I'm here. Yeah, that's good to hear. Productive day. You do anything exciting? Is it just sort of catching up on stuff?
Let's try it, and if it don't work, I've just ruined everything.
Okay, I kinda want all of you to stay here for a moment, please.
That sounds like you're gathering people into an accusing parlor.
Because you're wondering why I brought you all here today.
Been ages since we've played Amongst Us, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I think I did it once when we played that together, right?
Yeah.
I'll show you one way I've called you here.
Oh!
Oh,
Hey, get over to the station.
am I coming? Am I coming? Post haste. Dropped everything, including all that glass. And Fabergé eggs.
Nice that you've done so. New job is good stuff. Working towards it. This
Ow.
is the old job, talking something out with a friend. Ah, good stuff. Lots of phone calls. Terrible day for me, then. Yeah, into the disused cave section at the back. And, hop down here. I came down here because I heard roaring like right next to it, and I thought something might be going on.
Stick creepers and
Probably just
zombie
zombies
kids.
further down. Yeah. But, where are you? Take a look
Yeah,
down here.
Assassination attempt, I see. A glow squid!
A glow squid!
Ha! Nice!
Yeah.
Oh, it's quite pretty, actually.
Yeah.
I've been an outspoken opponent of the glow squid.
Me too, but now that I can see it, it is pretty nice. I would have rather had a completely new animal, to be honest.
Yeah,
But
that
it
would've
does
been-
look good.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment.
Yeah.
Like, we would have preferred, like, an ostrich, which may have been one of the offerings.
Yeah.
But it's a good job. Oh, it's dying! Ah,
Oh,
it's
no.
dying! Ah, too beautiful
Ah,
to live.
yeah.
It's too beautiful for this
Yeah.
world.
You always have a bucket of water with you, right?
Yes,
I'm wondering if it dropped anything. You think you could set me up a ladder?
I shall try. I am quite unarmed, so I can't join you. I mean, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm armed to the teeth, but I don't have any armor on apart from this t-shirt. Good enough for the Imperial Guard.
Yeah. Hmm. Oh.
Oh.
I don't see an item, but I
Oh.
do see creepers.
I better put up this water ladder then before anyone climbs up it.
Yeah.
How do we get back out?
Oh, we don't. We're down here forever now. But I thought it was worth it to see that squid.
True. Oh yeah, you just go round.
Yeah.
Go to your right as you come out of that hole. There you go. I don't know, there's just a door to nowhere.
You a Minecraft player, Alex?
How much does this need updating?
Should really set up a map down here. But then again, I guess we need item frames for that.
We do. We need many
Yeah.
item frames. Yeah, that is still accurate, isn't it?
Mm.
Stars on Sea via Sandington, Jack's Ward via Chasm Village, Fall Zero, and Tyson's Market.
I don't think the version that we use is cross-platform, I'm afraid.
One version is, one version isn't. And the
Yeah.
PC version isn't. Night time, by the way.
Okay. I'll get into bed when I arrive.
Hold on. I was not near a bed, I got distracted.
Illumus of Fail says ZZZ.
Still the fact that my
Neuralon
living
says
quarters at the
ZZZ.
keep just have a bed, an armor stand, and a chest in it still.
Yeah.
Like nearly 2 years on.
Just like your real house.
I've been talking to Asma. Oh, that's what it was. I actually always feel like I've kind of got too much stuff, you know. Part of me wants to be more minimalist.
Yeah.
But you accumulate, don't you, on this stuff you don't want to get rid of. And
Yeah. So this is an employment-only zone.
not another scrounger.
Yeah, I'm afraid so.
Ooh, classy. I just had a skeleton, so the hospital is no longer safe. Probably should have made it more of a priority to get that lighting sorted out, huh?
Yeah.
I can hear lots of dangerous noises. Oh no, this is not in the ward. That's something.
When you've got skeletons walking the wards, you know your hospital is not doing well.
Okay, it's not in the outpatient suite. Not in the kitchen. Not in patient records, which honestly I was expecting, because like a real patient record that's terribly lit.
Yeah. I mean, I think I've told the story before about the terrible beast I encountered in clinical coding.
Me?
Hmm?
The skeletons are in town.
The what?
They were outside
Okay.
the hospital. They were in Casenby,
Hmm.
walking around in the daylight.
Skeletons plural?
I heard more than one, but I can only see one.
Do you need me to head over?
Nah, I think we're okay.
Okay.
Panic over. So the terrifying beast you encountered in clinical coding, but maybe a
Yeah.
dig at me. I'm not sure.
Now. No, what's the other one? Not the office that you're in. But it's a similar thing.
Clinic
Like
prep.
the one. No. When you walk in, it's opposite the library entrance.
Like dead ahead.
Yeah.
Clinical coding.
I thought clinical coding was to the left.
That's clinic
Mine
prep.
looks I thought clinic prep was in the corridor.
That's clinic prep 2.
Okay.
Basically, in the days of yore, because orthopedics is next to A&E, they put the clinic prep dedicated to orthopedics because it's it's big enough thing that it has its own next to orthopedic, because obviously if somebody comes in with like a fracture or something, they might want to see them yesterday. And they're they rather than like your normal clinics where you're booked in advance.
Yeah.
You can obviously get somebody turn up to A&E with like, my arm seems to be on backwards, and they're like, yeah, okay, the doctor will see you. So it was to be more responsive. They slapped clinic prep next to the
Okay.
next to orthopedics. But then there was a redevelopment of A&E, so there was no longer space for them. So they needed somewhere for them to be in patient records. And because we'd like finally reached the 21st century, they no longer needed a room full of bizarre and arcane printers, each of which is different and does a different job using different paper. And they could use a PC connected to a giant, but otherwise normal printer.
Yeah.
So they moved them in there instead. Clinic Prep 2 being opposite admissions, of course, where I spent many a thoroughly miserable hour.
Yeah. Okay.
Be thou free.
In my head, then. Yes. Be thou free.
I think I better just stuck by the way around the back of the hospital and I can't get him free. Which is ironic. So yeah, Clinic Prep or clinical coding, whichever you were in at the time.
Is he holding on to the vines?
Yes. I'm not trying to remove the vines. It had no effect. No effect.
Yeah, it was coding then, because it was in the room that's like dead ahead as you go into the records area, into the library in general. Yeah, I mean, I think I've told the story before, but like I was on night shift at one point. And evening shift or something. It was like it may not have been that late, but it was midwinter, so it was pitch black down there, like pitch black outside. Yeah. So I'm heading down to the records library in the night to get something, get some notes from coding. I'm the only person in the whole records library area. It's very dark and gloomy, and make my way through to coding. And I'm up a ladder going through the shelves when I hear this screaming right behind me. And I look around and I can't see anything there, and I'm like, what the heck was that? And but I can't find anything, so I start to go back to it, and then a moment later I hear the screaming again. And, like, there's some terrible beast in here that's going to consume me. And well, it wasn't until days later that I realized they have like a clock in there that plays different bird noises at different times of day.
They don't have that anymore.
And at like 11 p.m. or whatever, it plays this freaking screech owl noise. So up on the ladder getting things off the shelf, and right next to me the clock's just screaming in my ear.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, buddy. It's a shame we've not got that anymore. That'd be great.
Yeah.
I'll have to ask if we can have it.
Yeah.
I believe we had a clock that used to howl like a banshee.
Its cry was death to all who heard it.
Yeah, I think we can buy lanterns, can't we? I'm about to sneeze. Please excuse me.
We can. I believe you want to talk to Brian Hart.
Thank you. I'll see how much they're charging, because it might be that I have to make them because we're broke.
What happened to all those emeralds that I gave you?
I spent them on bookshelves. No, it's only it's 1 for 1. If I spend half of our remaining emeralds on lanterns.
Lanterns are pretty cheap.
Yeah, that's not too bad. I'm thinking if there are going to be a few, I might have some troubles. It's actually less than half of our remaining emeralds, but we'll see how far it goes. Whenever I say a few, I always have the urge to say a very few, which is now the modern traveller.
Yeah.
I give you leave to take a few notes, a very few, but understand that this is not a formal interview. Oh, he'll only sell 12 at a time, so that puts 10 at it puts top hat on that, doesn't it? Well, let us begin. You think a single lantern is enough in a small? No, it's not, is it? Like, it's gotta be 2 in a smaller, even in a smaller room, isn't it?
Probably so. Significantly dimmer than torches, sadly. Oh, that's a good view. The sunset.
Found one of those homeless layabouts you mentioned.
Yeah.
Neuralon says ZZZ.
In the outpatient suite. Outrageous, really. I made what may turn out to be an enormous error of judgment today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yesterday, they started arranging the work Christmas do.
Yeah.
And they were like, let's go out for a meal in the midweek. Go out for a midweek meal. And yeah, fair enough. Because like you can't do the stuff that they perhaps might normally do. You can't, go dancing and such at the minute. A lot of places aren't really doing that kind of stuff. Probably fine. But let's go to a meal to a local Italian restaurant.
Okay.
And actually, the ceiling is way too high in here to be able to pull off those shenanigans. I need some chain. I need some lengths of chain. And also, it's got a fire in here. That should provide some light, right? Come back to that one. And I was like, I don't know, man. Obviously, I was like, nah. I'm going to probably lower that on chains. Actually, that's a bit high. But then I thought about it, and I said I'd go, and it just feels like a terrible error.
It's a rare miscalculation on your part.
Thank you for starters. Called it rare rather than it's decently frequent.
Oh my gosh. Normally wise enough to avoid any social encounters like the plague.
Yeah, they said, Neuron, because they discussed it all and what they were going to do and where and when and all of this. And, because they'd kind of done like feasibility study, as it were. It worked out what would be feasible first and then started asking people.
Yeah.
Neuron, would you be interested? And I said, I'm alright, thank you. And there were a couple of people like, come on, do it, etc. And I was like, I'm alright. But then I was thinking about it, and should I? But it's midweek, so it's not going to be late because it's a school night. People aren't going to be getting liquored up because they got a bit of work the next day.
Yeah.
So maybe it wouldn't be so bad. But I decided to do it. It's a tenner deposit, which is, I'm hoping my meal will cost a tenner. A tenner for a pizza, outrageous. But then again, you do pay that at Pizza Hut, so I can't really complain, seeing as I've lauded Pizza Hut before.
Pizza Hut is the base standard for pizza.
It is. I do love me some Pizza Hut. I know it's so much controversial, but way better than Domino's.
Yeah, I would say so.
Also, they do vegan pizzas.
Which I have, sadly discovered to my detriment that Domino's do not.
I mean, the things they said to you as well when you asked.
Yeah. Like, I don't feel it was strictly necessary.
No, that's what I was thinking.
Not technically legal as well, I think, with hate speak laws.
Well, true.
I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
I think they did give me some crap about it, didn't they? I don't remember exactly what they said.
There was one of them kind of snide, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Not
You're
the,
like,
not the worst
It was-
response I've had, but
yeah, it was sort of a weird response because you were like, "Is the pizza if I have it without cheese? Is there a vegan option with it?" Something like that. And they were kind of
yeah.
like a bit shirty
Mhm.
and a bit vague. And it's like, why? Then it turned
Yeah.
out no for some reason.
Mhm.
Like you can't just have it without cheese. It's still not vegan. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. It's not quite as bad as in America, where I asked about not even vegan, it was vegetarian options, and was told,
Oh,
we don't serve your kind here.
and what are you, a communist?
Yeah.
I
Fucking animals have rights.
yeah. Because I went to Texas, rural Texas.
Yeah.
I got two extremely different reactions to vegetarianism.
Yeah.
The majority, I got that kind of like, "What are you, a communist?" I mean, they didn't say that, but that kind of, huh?
Yeah.
But I also got, wow, you're like the Nazarites, because I also don't drink. The Nazarites being a Jewish sect of ancient days who would go without, wouldn't eat meat, wouldn't drink alcohol, etc.
Yeah.
As a devotion to God kind of thing. Like you
Hmm.
gave up those things.
Yeah.
I believe they also didn't cut their hair. And at the time I didn't have long hair, but if I had, I'd have I'd have really matched the image, wouldn't
Yeah.
I? But yeah, that was an interesting reaction. You're like the Nazarites. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, question mark.
Yeah, like that's clearly meant as a compliment, so I'll take it.
Yeah.
But I don't quite know how to handle it. Now the real question, before we get back
To
to
hold
Nazarites,
fast or
because
expire.
that's true. What should we call the ward?
Ah.
Because wards always have a name, don't they? Unless you're in one of those boring hospitals where it's Ward 1A.
Yeah.
Because we're on the first floor, so it's number 1. And it's the first ward on that floor, so it's A. Or 11, because it's the first ward on the first floor.
Yeah.
What is this, binary? Get out of here. But really, like proper hospitals, they have names.
Yeah. Have a number and a name.
That's true. That's the only ward we've got. So, that doesn't apply to us. But absolutely, like if you're like going for Ward 11, it should be like Johnson Ward 11.
Yeah.
Like it's not either or. Yeah, what should we call the ward?
We call it the Memorial Ward, but in a different sense to how we use it over here.
Because obviously, the hospital that I work at, that you used to work at, that is our local major hospital. The wards are mostly named after people who donated before the NHS is a thing.
Yeah.
Therefore, the wards are largely named after important local families of the early 20th century.
Yeah.
And then some others like Elizabeth or whatever, because the Queen. I don't know. I mean, other local hospitals have like wards named after places in the area, don't they? That's another one. Which is kind of weird when you are yourself like just a little village hospital, as it were, and your wards are named after other local villages. I get it, but it's a bit hard. Yeah, I'll come back to that. We'll take suggestions, or we should take thought upon it.
Yeah.
We'll see if any good ideas come to mind. Like, is there anything we would commemorate with the opening of a ward? Of course, is another option.
I mean, do we want to draw upon local religious beliefs? You know, the sacredness of the chasms. Do we perhaps want to call it the rock bottom ward?
We could. Excuse me, gentlemen. Excuse me. Sir. Give lanterns, please. Thank you. That's gonna be a pig to light up. Oh yeah, I need chains as well, don't I? This is going to take quite a bit. Oh, maybe I can do this one next, actually, because this is simple to light up. It just requires a lot of lanterns. And I've probably got enough now.
Neuralon says ZZZ.
A pawn.
A pawn?
Like ward in this, like, is there something that you would call blank ward, in like a magic sense, like D&D or Darkest Dungeon or something, and then we'd call it blank ward in the medical sense, like steadfast ward or whatever. But instead of being steadfast ward, it becomes steadfast ward,
Yeah.
or something better.
Yeah.
Steadfast ward is a thing.
I'm not
But I can't know
sure.
what it's a thing from.
I'm trying to think if there's anything like that in Minecraft, like Saint Warwick's Ward or something.
Oh yeah. Hold on, when I've done this, let me run over to my armor and see what it's called.
Signs.
It's-
Gate. But the game probably isn't going to let me build this the way I want to build it, because no one in their right mind would want to build it this way. I'm gonna try.
Well, that's all you can do. I'll probably just use all 12 in here, actually, I think. Nah, I don't use all 12, but I'll use about a goodly number, 8 perhaps. I probably want to go like... No.
Can do this, I guess.
I have way to go.
Nope, gonna have to Google that one. An E, of course.
Class. What's that about?
Trying to spell maintenance. Why is it not? Why is it not spelled maintenance?
That is the way of things.
It kind of hovers above there, though. Maybe I could put it on here.
A little bit. Wait a minute,
Yeah.
is that wrong?
Okay.
Does that work or is that too shadowed? Of course, the other option is that I have a line down the middle as well, which does make a certain amount of sense. But I want to spread the remaining ones perhaps further to the side. I still look like a Christmas tree in here.
I'm gonna need fresh materials for the roof.
Oops, that was not down. Pull the ceiling down. It is like being at the hospital.
Yeah.
Ah, terrible miss out. Stephen's caved in on the ward. Yeah.
Well, these things happen.
Yeah. I accidentally took plaster off wall in ambitions once. They might say, "What were you doing, Roland, to pull the plaster off the walls in ambitions?" I took the calendar down.
That sounds right.
Yeah, I think that works. It did not, and will soon spawn skeletons. Yeah, it's got the kind of main area just to light up, but otherwise I think it's a decent success.
You need to choose one consequence.
It's true. Maybe I should have pinched these lanterns that hung up around town.
Then the traffic would be extremely unsafe at night.
Well, that's true. Did you know that during the Second World War in the UK, there was a massive spike in road accidents at night?
Oh, it tracks.
Because blackout, you had to put covers over your headlights, so it only allowed a little bit of light out. You know, on account of the constant German bombing
Yeah.
for 4 years. And then for the last year, German bombing, but this time with the world's first cruise missiles. And later, the world's first ballistic missiles.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, credit, where it's due. That's quite a good invention to come up with, I guess. Like, horrific, but
Yeah.
it's a clever invention. Ballistic missiles, well, cruise missiles and then ballistic missiles. It's quite a thing.
Yeah, it's quite a thing. Not a good thing, but it's quite a thing.
Invented by the future head of NASA.
Yep.
He got on some Disney programs too.
I mean, you
My
know
dad.
Disney.
Sorry, go.
You know Disney.
Yeah. You mean Walt Disney or Disney the company?
Both?
Yeah. That's true. Alright, how am I gonna hang up this? Stocking on the fireplace. No, wait. Something like that, actually. Ah, that's way too low, though. I only need one length of chain. I love the chain noises. That's good sound design.
Yeah. How much you love your sound design.
It's just a really important part of games to me. They should sound good.
Yeah.
Not everyone agrees. The Vegas
Myself, I
lines.
normally play games with the sound on.
So as not to be caught up in such petty distraction.
Exactly.
Like a real gamer doesn't care about such things. TM. A gamer TM.
I'm also, very much of the opinion that, graphics don't matter, it's all about gameplay. That's why I turn my screen off when I play.
Rightly so, I should think. Yeah, I'm sure that's fine. Stairwells don't need to be lit up, do they? That's capitalist propaganda. Remember, if you focus hard enough, everything is capitalist propaganda.
Yeah.
Or bourgeois, or imperialist, or fascist, or revisionist, depending on which branch of communism you subscribe to.
Most of it is capitalist propaganda, but that's besides the point.
Yeah, it really is. Like, there's so much that everyone knows about communism or the Soviet Union or whatever that is just stuff they made up to discredit the Soviet Union.
Neuralon says ZZZ.
Even stuff that is crappy, like people in the Soviet Union had crap flats and had to queue for bread, does cover the flip side of everyone in the Soviet Union had a flat at least,
Yeah.
and you were always guaranteed a certain amount of food. But yeah, bread queues bad, but flip side, nobody went hungry in that sense
Yeah.
after the famines that Stalin was involved in.
Yeah.
Also, if you get a tanky, they'll get real mad at you for calling them, for saying they happened.
Yeah.
No, they destroyed their own food because they hated communism that much. Spoilers, they didn't do that. They didn't destroy their own food because they'd rather starve than allow it to be redistributed to the workers. That's just not true.
And
Like,
if
I
it
appreciate
was, and if
it.
it was
I'd
true,
rather.
then heck them. What an
Yeah.
awful stance to take.
Yeah. You know, I appreciate I'd rather die as much
Yeah.
as the next man, but I don't really think that happened. Wait, no. What? What? Why isn't that working? What's going on? Oh, right, yeah, the wall. Huh. Kinda. Whether that needs more light or whether those four are sufficient, I suspect they're not. Like, I feel like stuff's still gonna be able to spawn in here, but I don't know about that. Maybe I should bring them forward one, and that might prevent it a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I'm willing to declare that probably fine. But, you know, I mean, I think hospitals are just meant to have shadowy corners.
Yeah.
If we put that one about there. Then if we go... Oh, what if I do it like this?
Should really browse some of your scaffolding for this bit.
They usually yell at me for doing ridiculous stunts while not using scaffolding. So. Can't complain if it goes wrong and gets you killed.
True.
That work? I mean, does that just work? Or are there dangerous and shadowed corners? Do I move them all down one? Oh, what's the secrets and wonders that occur in even the most tenebrous corners of this place? Yeah, I'll probably kind of do it, maybe. definitely a chance that creepers will blow up the hospital.
I mean, nowhere can be 100% creeper-proof.
That's true. Apart from a name for the ward, Iran. I mean, I guess I could put a sign over the incinerator / porter's lodge, but yeah, do I need to? Is the question. I'll put a unit in kitchen. Then yeah, apart from a name for the ward, that's job's a good one.
Yeah, good stuff.
Hey, Fenrir. You've been watching and waiting very patiently as I built this monstrosity. Or 2 signs, perhaps. Yes, good.
Yes.
I do always find it fascinating, BT dubs, when you discover something that you know, that is taken as fact, but is actually just a complete fiction.
Yeah.
But you find out, because on the one hand, it's horrifying, but at the same time also just fascinating. Like, wait, that's not true? That's what everyone always says, etc.
Yeah.
It turns out to be, capitalist propaganda. Yeah, oh, wow. No. Yeah, I did find out the other day, by chance.
Yeah.
British ships serving in the Pacific Theatre. I think we called it the Far East Theatre, didn't we, in British usage? But the Americans called it Pacific Theatre and the name stuck. I guess the reason we call it Far East is because it's not just the Pacific.
Yeah.
Like other parts. The British ships were largely unaffected by kamikaze attacks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they had armoured decks which American aircraft carriers didn't have.
Huh.
And one American officer who was like HMS Illustrious, I think, remarked, when they kamikaze our ships, it's 6 months in Pearl, i.e. harbour for repairs.
Yeah.
When they kamikaze a British ship, it's sweepers man your brooms. And that was it. Yeah, the plane would kind of hit the deck, blow up, and then the sailors would come out and sweep the wreckage off so they could launch more planes.
Yeah.
That's humiliating, isn't it, for your enemies?
Yeah.
Like somebody died to inconvenience you mildly. Like, oh, that's just like the ultimate in not being worth it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Actually, I'm just gonna call it estates. Yeah. Good. All the signage is up. The lights are up. The front's been filled in properly with windows, which I think look very, very nice. We've got the usual assortment of zombies, creepers, and such marauding around because of poor lighting choices. The signage
Drumming
is
up
up.
custom, in other words.
Yeah. And yeah, everything's done. The hospital is finished. Got a name outside.
Nice.
Put some paths in leading up to it. Fought the edge to put signs up dedicating it to, with thanks to the great people at Vault Railways, without whom this would not have been possible. Then an advert for Vault Railways. Yeah, JavaScript took me a few weeks of game time.
Yeah. Turned out nice.
Thank you. I went for a gothic style, as you can tell.
Yeah.
Being an architecture buff, as I believe.
How you favour your neo-gothic over your neoclassical?
True. Hey guys, there's another cat. Don't worry, I'll get the bow so we don't get overrun. That is entirely true. I do favour neo-gothic over neoclassical. Aye. Also, I know this is. Except we'll be finishing up now, I imagine, because of the time.
Yeah.
If only I could stay longer, but we've got work in the morning. Yeah, so I gotta go, sharp and early. But I've been watching YouTube videos off the Tank Museum website, YouTube channel,
Yeah.
which is the Tank Museum in Bovington in Dorset, here in the UK. Which has a great selection of tanks and other military vehicles, as you might imagine.
Yeah.
Fortunately, it's not the museum of like tanks that plumbers would fit to hold water in somebody's house. Fenrir, appear. Where are you? Are you on the balcony? No, that's a chicken. Fenrir, where are you?
Last I saw him, he was parked outside your construction site.
Yeah, I fetched him with me and he's disappeared en route. Like, I can hear him. But I don't know where he's taken himself. I can hear you back in Fenrir, where are you? You're in the guest bedroom. Fenrir! I can hear you back in Fenrir, where are you?
Hi, Seist. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm ready to go to bed. He'll turn up.
You having a good day?
Hey, siest. Yes, I've been watching some of their videos, which are very interesting. Ah, he's appeared!
Nulon says ZZZ.
Good.
I went to bed and Lottie appeared before my eyes. Fenrir. Fenrir.
Zero of 2 players sleeping. Don't have to see that message.
I was in bed, then jumped out of bed, so I thought, while I wait, I'll get Fenrir to sit. There you go, good boy. Good boy. Yes, I've been watching some of their videos. They have tank chats, where one of their experts just talks about a tank or other armoured vehicle. Which I guess makes it slightly misleading, because, not always a tank. Anywho, pedantry aside, one of the things that really became apparent to me, and it's heresy to say it, I know, in the UK, because their finest hour, etc. Some of our vehicles were really stupid.
Yeah.
Like, what a waste! It's like, oh yeah, they built 3,000 of this armoured car that does, like, nothing. It would have been outdated in 1938.
Yeah.
Like, why? We wasted so much time and resources on absolute tat.
That is Noellan, yes. Minecraft Monday is generally co-op. Although right now he's in the next village over, so I can't go over for you to say hi.
Can't really see the hospital from here, which is a shame.
My day's been good, thank you. It's been a nice chill day. I've gotten very little done in a good way.
I forgot to put the thing in the kitchen. Alright, I'll do that, and then I must be wrapping up. Also, hi, Siest. I've heard into that before, seeing as you have invoked my name.
Yeah, it's about bedtime. In real life, I mean. I've only just woken up in Minecraft.
to the final thing. Final crowning thing. I could not look. Nor could I look away. Just great lines, like all of them.
Yeah.
From the ancestor. Would you, I mean, bearing in mind the implications, would you have the ancestor narrate your life?
I think yeah. If I have the ancestor narrating my life, do I also have to put up with the caretaker seizing a piece of my entertainment media and exclusively for himself for a week span at a time?
I mean, I guess you don't get the Hamlet. But if you did, what about the town crier as well?
Yeah.
Like you buy a console that puts the entertainment media pieces up high enough that he starts taking one as well. How about I just watch a DVD? Got caretakers on my PC.
Yeah.
Town criers watching my DVDs. I'll got my tablet, I guess,
Yeah.
for a week. Yeah, if you don't have the caretaker on the town crier, but it's just you just get the disembodied voice and/or figure, and/or spectral figure of the ancestor just following you around.
Yeah.
Because that'd be, you know, plus and minus there, wouldn't it? 'Cause on the one hand, how cool. But on the other hand, if you make any mistakes...
Yeah. He's gonna let you know about it.
Yeah. Just like you get socially awkward and say something off, and the ancestor flags it up to you. Or if you were, you know, if you, like I say, was like, yeah, getting to know perhaps a lady, and then you just fluff it up, and you say the wrong thing, and then just make sure such missteps are the exception instead of the rule. You're like, I know. Or just you say something wrong. Watch your step.
For days, the foul pas will be ringing in your ears.
Yeah. I know, you didn't have to point it out. You know, swings and roundabouts is what we're saying. Have the ancestor narrate everything.
Yeah. And thank you for the Lexiest. Hope dinner turns out good.
Enjoy.
Yeah, I think it's time to close up for us, sadly. Finish putting...
Alas, that I must work.
I'm not going to finish putting this row of stairs on because I've run out of stairs. I'll call it
That's
there
a
for
fair
tonight then.
Alright, thank you, Loomis, as always.
Yeah, and thank you for joining me.
No problem. Thank you, everybody, for watching.
I think this area might have been entirely unnecessary, but you were talking to me as I was working on it, and I didn't really think about whether I should go through with the idea that popped in my head.
There.
We'll see when it's done.
We will.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for joining me, and thank you to everybody who has watched and everybody who's chatted. I've really appreciated the company. Yeah. I hope I'll see everybody again soon. It's been good, everyone. Hope you all have a good night.
The Marie.